watching One Gotti Talking Sports.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with yet another Washington football team video, and in today's video I'm coming on here to recap day 1 of minicamp. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case our Washington football team. Let's get straight into today's video. So like I said, today was mandatory minicamp, so it was a requirement that you showed up to minicamp today, and I'm pretty sure everyone did. Now, before we get into recapping day 1 of rookie minicamp, I just have to say this, and shout out to my boy Pedro Smith for putting this out onto the light, really. So Nikki Giovanni, she is a reporter for the Washington football team. She put out a tweet today because Chase Young was there, obviously mandatory, so he obviously was going to be there. She put out a tweet and said that he was disrupting 2 plays into, minicamp. He was already being a disruptor and making plays. And some fan, subtweeted her and said that, oh, if he was here for 2 weeks, just imagine how good he could have been. Because, he missed the 2 weeks because it was, 1, it was voluntary workouts, and 2, maybe he just didn't want to come. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the fan is talking about. And my boy Pedro basically said, it's crazy how fans are just overblowing the voluntary mini camps or voluntary workouts or whatnot into seeing that, oh, Chase Young doesn't want to play, he doesn't have, he doesn't have the it factor no more. It's just crazy to see what fans do when their favorite player or just a player on their favorite team doesn't show up to camp or whatnot. It's just crazy to think about that. That's all I really wanted to say, and I just wanted to say shout out to Pedro once again for bringing that to light, man, because it's just crazy how fans just overblow stuff and look too deep into voluntary workouts, voluntary mini camps. It's just crazy, man. So I had to say that. Now let's get on to some of the positive things about rookie minicamp. Well, while we're on the note of Chase Young, he did say that he was dealing with a hip injury at the start of last year. So maybe he sustained it probably in training camp. I think he did, actually. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did hurt his hip in training camp last year, because I think I remember making a video about that. I think he definitely did hurt his hip in training camp last year. So he said that he was dealing with a hip injury all last year, and he was focused on getting that right, and he plans on focusing this year on just making plays and getting better and being better than what he was last year. So it's just crazy to think Chase Young was dealing with a hip injury. Little did we know throughout his whole rookie campaign, and he was still phenomenal, and he still won Defensive Rookie of the Year. So he said he plans on to be better. How much more better can he get? You know what I'm saying? It's just it's scary. It's scary for the rest of the NFL that Chase Young hasn't reached his full potential, and that's obvious because he's a rookie. He's coming off his rookie year, should I say? He's going into year 2, and he said he plans on being better and focusing this year now that he's not hurt on getting better. And it's just crazy to me how much better Chase Young plans on being and how much more he can grow since he was already dominant last year, and now he's not dealing with the injury. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be scary for the rest of the NFL. Him and Montez Sweat, more so Montez Sweat, is finally going to get the recognition that he deserves from the NFL. Obviously, we know and love Tez. We know how good Tez is, but the NFL just sleeps on him, and I just can't wait. And I'm just happy that we have this tandem for hopefully the next decade plus. So the next thing I want to talk about here is why not talk about the quarterbacks, Taylor Heinicke, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, it says that Heinicke, and shout out to Zach Selby's once again, always holding it down. And let me say this one more time. I'm sorry before I'm getting off chat here, but I had to go to Twitter for these reports because I'm normally a person that likes to use Instagram, and I don't even have the Twitter app. I had to go on the website to get these tweets and get my research and get the information to give to you guys. But I just wanted to say that, I don't really use Twitter like that. But so back on on track here. Zach Selsby says that Heinicke scrambled to keep the play alive, and Antonio Gandy Golden was there at the end zone to make the grab, and a couple of pats on the helmet but from Logan Thomas and Samuel Cosme. So it's good for all the people. This is why it's so good, because for all the people out there that are so content that, oh, AGG is a confirmed cut, he is getting cut, he is not making this roster. Relax, guys, relax. He is coming off a rookie year where it was heavily injury due to injury. He couldn't play due to injuries, and I'm not gonna say it's not his fault, but can he really control injuries? And it's just crazy to think that you guys really think he's going to get cut. Now, I'm not saying he's 100% locked, but I don't think he's going to get cut because he's coming off a rookie campaign where it was heavily induced by injuries, and he can't really control that. And they spent a 4th-round draft pick on this guy. They have big plans for this guy, and the only way Antonio Gandy Golden doesn't make this roster is if he just F's up badly. He's just terrible, and I don't see that in this guy, as he made a beautiful grab from Taylor Heinicke. Now, let's talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick. It says Ryan Fitzpatrick just sidearm a pass to Adam Humphries during the final portions of the team's drills. Really intriguing to see how that connection is going to help the offense this year. And before we even talk about them two, let me just say this. If Patrick Mahomes would have thrown that sidearm ball, the NFL would have went crazy. Oh my God, Patrick Mahomes did this sidearm no look. My boy Ryan Fitzpatrick did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm just joking, but let's just be real. You guys know how the NFL is. But my boy Fitzpatrick put his Matthew Stafford in him and threw a sidearm, because that's the person that really started the sidearm stuff. And he went on to talk about how Adam Humphries and Ryan Fitzpatrick will help out this offense this year. And that's no question. We know Adam Humphries is really here because of Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they are a phenomenal duo. They had some great times in Tampa Bay. And they're going to only help out this offense. You know what I'm saying? He's only going to help out himself. He's going to help out De'Ami Brown, Dax Mims, because those are the two guys that could possibly be the slot once he leaves next year if we don't re-sign him. So that tandem is definitely going to help out this offense. We definitely need it too, because we need more weapons around Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson. Now, it says Jared Patterson, we're talking about running backs now, had looked pretty efficient today in the pass game. Randy Jordan told us yesterday that was something that they didn't expect from watching tape on him, but he looks natural in open space. So that's great again. Another pass catcher, another guy that can come out the backfield and be another target for the quarterback. So it's very good to see. And Jared Patterson, I mean, I know he's undrafted and whatnot, but this is the most comfortable I felt about undrafted player making a roster in a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's great to see Jared Patterson making some noise, and I'm very excited for yet another homegrown talent that's putting on for PG County in the NFL and in sports in general. So let's talk about Cam Sims. Cam Sims just made a really impressive catch from Taylor Heinicke. My boy Taylor Heinicke. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm rooting so heavy for Taylor Heinicke is because, for one, when he first came into play last year, I wasn't the biggest fan, and it's not because I thought he was trash. I just didn't know nothing about Taylor Heinicke. But the way I seen him ball in that playoff game, and I know it's just one game, I just want to see him at least get a fair shot. Like I said, I don't think he's going to make this, he's going to make this roster. He's going to be the backup quarterback, rather. I don't think he's going to win the starting job. But I just want to see him get a fair shot at least. But I know Ron Rivera already has his mind made up. I know he likes to say, oh, it's an open competition. But he has his mind made up. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the clear-cut starter. But I just want to say that because my boy Taylor Heinicke is making plays out here, man. He says Cam Sims just made a really impressive catch from Heinicke. He came back into coverage to haul it in. Another example of why Drew Terrell praises him so much. And Cam Sims, yet another guy who I believe is going to be fighting for that 6th spot, because like I told you, I feel like they're going to keep 6 receivers. He's another guy, and some of you guys' eyes is a lock because of the year that he had last year, which was solid. You know what I'm saying? It was very well for a guy on Cam Sims. From Cam Sims standard, last year was phenomenal, but from a regular wide receiver standard, it was solid. You know what I'm saying? He had a big key drop, the one in the playoff game, to be an example of a huge drop. And a huge play to, balance it out is that play, that screen versus Pittsburgh and the one-handed grab that he made in Pittsburgh. So with Cam Sims, he's a guy in my eyes who's going to be fighting for that 6th spot, and I really like Cam Sims, man. I want him to make this roster, but it's just not enough space for the last two, actually. For 5 and 6, it's just getting so tight because you have to find out Dax Mims. You have to try to get Kevin Harmon in. You got to try to get AGG in here. And like I said, some of you guys, AGG may be a goner for you, but not for me. And you got to try to squeeze Cam Sims in there. And it's one more receiver that I'm pretty sure, I'm forgetting probably Steven Sims, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us don't want him here no more because we felt like he blown his opportunity last year. But you still have to account for him now because he's on the roster at the moment, and they're all fighting for that 5 and 6 spot. So it's going to be very intriguing to see how that plays out, but I'm so glad to see Cam Sims making plays because, once again, it's a great problem to have when you have to cut talented players. And now, moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about William Jackson. He says, we have our first pick of the day. William Jackson, first of minicamp. Fitzpatrick overthrew John Bates, and WJ3 was there, as of course you could hear Chris Harris screaming, we got one, we got one. Now, of course, here come the fans overreacting per usual. Ryan Fitzpatrick threw an interception in minicamp, guys. I understand it's an interception. We don't want to see it, but it happens. It happens. Name me a quarterback that doesn't overthrow. Tom Brady tends to overthrow at times. Maybe not now because he's so old. He's older, so he rarely does it because his arm isn't as strong as it used to be back then. But everyone overthrows, but nonetheless, you don't want to see it. But on the other flip side, my boy William Jackson making plays, got an interception, and not only did he get an interception, Chris Harris energy. I gotta say, man, Ron is my favorite coach on the coaching staff. JDR is second. And maybe Chris Harris is third, man. I just love his energy. And after that, probably Randy Jordan. But I just love Chris Harris's energy, man. It's just so good to see him hype up his players. And it gives the players so much more confidence to know that, we can do this. Our coach have the utmost belief in us that we can make these plays. So I just wanted to say that, man. Shout out to Chris Harris, one of my favorite coaches on the coaching staff. Now, moving on, we have William Bradley King. He very nearly had an interception by jumping in the way of Heinicke's pass. Heinicke had to adjust his throw at the last second, and the pass was completed, but it's still a subtle to remember as of why Mayhew believes that WBK, William Bradley King, and Shaka Toney can contribute early. So I'm going to say this about those two. They're going to make this roster, in my opinion, because we need depth at the defensive end position. I know it's been talks about Shaka Toney moving to linebacker, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be the edge rushing depth, and we need it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, as I'm not really the biggest fan of James Smith-Williams, but I'm pretty sure he might make this roster too as depth piece for the edge rushers. But I like these two, and I'm excited to see what they can do. More importantly, Taylor Heinicke making yet another good play, able to adjust his throw to complete the pass. Now, that's really all of the notes here. It's not really a lot. I guess we have one more from Chase Young. It says Chase Young updates on the offense. First passing play of team drills. He rushed passes 2 blockers before getting in Fitzpatrick's face. He let up at the last second because you can't do contact in minicamp. So in a real game, it would have been a sack. Chase Young. What more do we have to talk about Chase Young, man? We know what Chase is going to do. Phenomenal player. It's going to be so great for us for the next decade. And I'm so excited that he's on our team, man. Yet another PG County guy putting on for the home team, man. So it's very exciting to see. So yeah, man, I just wanted to come on here quickly to talk about minicamp. Not really a lot, but a lot at the same time. Oh yeah, and also I want to talk about Charles Leno. Charles Leno said that he was very shocked that Chicago let him go. He thought that he was going to be back in Chicago, but he wasn't. And he also said this burgundy and gold looks good on him, and it fills his complexion. It matches his complexion. So a good joke by Charles Leno there. And he also said that Chase Young is going to be a very good player for the next decade, just not only because he can ball, but he just wants the ball. You know what I'm saying? He's all about ball. So that's one thing I want to say about Charles Leno, and we obviously know that about Chase Young. And the last thing, I don't mean to end on such a bad note, But the last thing is Curtis Samuel, and I don't want to look too deep into this because I don't think it's nothing. But Ron Rivera said Curtis Samuel wasn't out there due to him tweaking his hamstring, or his groin rather. Sorry about that, last week. So I don't want to look too deep into it. Fans, don't look too deep into it, guys. He'll be fine before the start of the season, I'm pretty sure. So I don't expect him to be at minicamp this week. It's only 3 days. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So yeah, man, it's me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hello to the Washington football team. Let me know what you guys think about this video down below. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're so close. Get me there. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace. Cross me one time. That's gonna get you pop. Get you pop. Get you drop. Slide.